So I'm here with a book haul. I was about to say a small book haul, but actually looking at the pile next to me, it's really not so small. These are the books that I've accumulated in January and throughout the first week or so of February. So let's get into it. So first off, we have Wildcard by Marie Lu, which is the sequel and finale to the Warcross duology. I read Warcross this week and I loved it, so I went out and bought the sequel right away. Warcross follows a character named Amika Chen, who is a bounty hunter and hacker, and she is hired to go into a video game, a virtual reality video game called Warcross, and track down another hacker that is messing with the game and uncover what their plan is. This is the continuation of that, so I can't tell you what this one is about, but I have already read it and I will have a summary of my thoughts of this one along with the other books that I've finished so far in February up on my channel, either already or very shortly. I'm uploading these two videos at the same time. Then I have A Memory Called Empire by Arcady Martin. This is my local book club's book for this month, and it is space opera about a character who needs to go and become the new ambassador for the Takes Kalan area? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, probably not, and discover what it is that happened to the last ambassador who died in mysterious circumstances. So space opera is not something that I have ever read before. It's not a genre I am used to, so I am a little bit nervous to be going into this one for that reason, but you gotta start somewhere, so I'm looking forward to it too. Then we have the book that came in my Fairy Loot box in January, which was Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibanez. And in my Fairy Loot unboxing, I said that this sounded like it might be historical fiction fantasy, and I looked it up since then, and indeed it is. The historical elements that are included in this book that are based on true Bolivian history, which is really exciting because, as you may know, historical fiction is something I would like to read more of this year, so I'm really glad to have this to add to my collection. And it's also fantasy, which hopefully will mean that it's a little bit more accessible for me. And this is essentially a spy pretending to be a princess to protect her. So it's kind of like a body double type of trope, and mostly it's the Bolivian inspirations that really draw me to this one. So I'm really excited to read it. Next up, we have Hotstopper Volume 3 by Alice Oseman. I went to the launch event of this the other night, so my copy is signed, and I also got a tote included in my ticket price, and I got that signed too, so that's what that looks like. As you may know, I have all of Alice Oseman's books, and I've read all of Alice Oseman's books, and I actually have all of her books signed too, which is really, really fun. I really love her works, and I especially love Heartstopper. If you don't know what it's about, it essentially follows two boys who become friends. One of them is gay and one of them thinks that he's straight, but once he strikes up this friendship with Charlie, he begins to realise that maybe he's actually not straight, maybe he's bisexual, and it follows their relationship with each other, and it's just so darn cute. Everybody who reads this has a smile on their face when they do, because it is just so adorable, and nothing really happens in the story. It's just the story of two people and their relationship with each other, and it's beautiful. Then we have Monstrous Volumes 1 and 2 by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda, which is a graphic novel. Like I said, these are the first 2 volumes. There are currently 4 volumes available for purchase, although I think that the story continues beyond that on Tumblr. I could be wrong, and I can't really tell you what this is about, because although I've read Volume 1, it was my local book club's book for last month, and we had our meeting on Thursday. So although I've read it, and discussed it. I still can't really tell you what it's about because I still don't fully understand it. But the art is absolutely beautiful, which I think you can tell by looking at these covers. It is a fantasy graphic novel series and it follows a girl with magic. I don't really know what her motivations are yet. I will have to keep you posted. I'm going to reread volume 1 before reading volume 2, and then hopefully I'll be able to tell you what this series is about, because right now, honestly, I don't know. I just have them because the art is absolutely stunning, and to be honest, I would collect them just for that because they're just so beautiful. Then we have A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Brigid Kemmerer, which is book 2 in the Curse So Dark and Lonely, the Curse Breakers series. Book 1 is A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and I think that this is called the Curse Breakers series. Although it doesn't say anywhere, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is called. And I actually already read this and reviewed it in my January wrap-up, so I will link that up above for you. A Curse So Dark and Lonely is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and then book 2 kind of goes beyond that, and I can't really tell you what it's about because it would be spoilers for book 1, sort of. I mean, you pretty much know what's going to happen in book 1 anyway because it's a retelling, but still, I'm going to leave it there. Then I picked up not 1, not 2, but 3 Brandon Sanderson books. So first I have Steelheart, which is the Reckoners book 1. This is one of his non-Cosmere books, and as far as I can tell, it's kind of superhero, supervillain-esque type science fiction fantasy. I haven't read it yet, but I am very excited to do so because this is meant to be a very popular series, and I think that it's actually completed, which is great because once I finish this one I can continue with the rest of the series and read them all. And then I have Shadows of Self and Bands of Mourning, which are books 2 and 3 in the second arc of Mistborn, and the reason I have both of these already, even though I haven't read Shadows of Self yet, is because I accidentally picked up Bands of Mourning first and then realised I'd picked up Bands of Mourning by mistake, and so I had to pick up Shadows of Self because I need to read this one first because chronologically this one is first and then there's this one. So, you know, there's that. But it's fine because I was going to get them both eventually anyway. So I have these 3 from Sanderson and I'm very excited to pick them all up. Especially this one because it's a completely new series from Sanderson to me and I like to explore his works. That's one of my goals for this year. So yeah, I have those 3. And then the final book in this book haul is also one that I have already read, and that is Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hingwen, and I will have linked up above my January wrap-up in which I also read this. So if you're interested in a mini review for this book, then you will be able to find that there. If you just want to know what it's about, essentially it's contemporary, young adult, possibly on the higher end of young adult I would say, and we follow Eva, who lives in the United States and has very controlling parents. Her parents want her to be a doctor, but she really wants to be a dancer, and then her parents send her off to a summer camp in Taipei, which is in Thailand, and she kind of goes a little bit wild there. I mentioned this in my January wrap-up. I'll mention it again because I found this incredibly confusing at first. There's no boat in this story. That's just a colloquialism for the summer camp that she goes to. It's not actually on a boat, so don't be confused. There's no boat. I just found that really threw me off for a second there because I was expecting a boat and there isn't one. So just know that. And it's fun, and I didn't hugely connect with Eva. She made some decisions that I didn't necessarily agree with, but it is own voices, which means the representation is great, and it is a fun story, so I would recommend it. And that's it. Those are the 11 books that I picked up in January and in the first week of February. Let me know down below if you have read any of these or if any of them are on your TBR. And that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more like this from me, then do think about hitting that subscribe button, and I hope to see you here again soon. Thanks. Bye.